Good morning students, this is Latif sir. In this video, I'll discuss about reactivity series and different types of oxides. So first see reactivity series. What is reactivity series of metals? You know, in nature there are many types of metals are available, and some of them are highly reactive, some of them are very unreactive, and some metals are moderately reactive. Okay, and the arrangement of metals in a series in decreasing order, the arrangement of metals in a series in decreasing order of their reactivity is known as the metal reactivity series, and this is the metal reactivity series. And the most reactive metal is potassium and least reactive metal is gold. Okay, and these metals, potassium, calcium, sodium, these metals are highly reactive metals. They can react with water, carbon dioxide, oxygen very easily. Okay, so these metals are very highly reactive, and the metals like copper, mercury, silver, and gold. This metal, copper, mercury, Ag means silver, and Au means gold. Cu means copper, Ag means mercury, and Ag means silver, and Au is gold. So these metals are very highly unreactive, and these metals are exist in nature in their free states. Okay, and the metals magnesium, aluminum, zinc, Fe, nickel, tin, and lead. These metals are moderately reactive. Okay, so based on reactivity of these metals, metals are arranged in this metal reactivity series. Okay, so and one thing I want to show you that hydrogen here, hydrogen, although hydrogen is not is a non-metal, but it is placed in this reactivity series. Okay, so above the hydrogen, above the hydrogen, above the hydrogen, these are reactive metals, and below the hydrogen, these metals are very unreactive metals. Okay, so now see the special feature of the metal reactivity series. Special feature of the metal reactivity series. See, as we move down from potassium to gold, the reactivity of metals decreases. I have told already. So potassium is the most reactive metals, and gold is the least reactive metal, because potassium placed at the top and gold is placed at the bottom. So potassium is the most reactive and gold is the least reactive metal. Second point, metal present at the top of the metal reactivity series can displace metal present lower down the metal reactivity series. That means the metal placed above the reactivity series, which are more reactive, which can displace the metal which present at the bottom of this reactivity series. That means more reactive metals can displace a less reactive metal from its salt. More reactive metal can displace less reactive metals from its salt. Okay, and hydrogen is placed in this reactivity series. I've told here hydrogen is present. Okay, and above hydrogen these are reactive metals, and below hydrogen these are non-reactive metals. So those metals present above the hydrogen in this reactivity series, those metals placed above the hydrogen in this reactivity series, they can displace hydrogen H plus ion, that is hydrogen ion. They can displace hydrogen from acid, from dilute acid solution. Okay, so the main generally metals, see this point, metals that are above the hydrogen, metals that are above the hydrogen in the metal reactivity series can displace hydrogen ion, that is H plus ion, from water, from acid, okay, or from alkali. But those metals present below hydrogen in this reactivity series, they cannot displace hydrogen ion from dilute acid or water. Okay, important point. So which metal can displace hydrogen ion from dilute acid water? Those metal uh, those metal which are present or which are placed above the hydrogen in reactivity series, they can displace hydrogen ion from dilute acid or water. Okay, because these metal are more reactive than hydrogen. Now predicting reactivity of metals. We know that more reactive metals such zinc, iron, magnesium, aluminium, these are more reactive metal, and this metals these metals can displace metals below them in the reactivity series from their salt solution. As I have told before some time, that a more reactive metal can displace a less reactive metal from their salt solution. For example, zinc can displace copper from copper sulfate, and the product will be ZnSO4 plus Cu. Zinc Zn can displace copper from copper sulfate. This is because zinc is more reactive than copper. This is because zinc is placed above copper in this reactivity series. Okay. Similarly, Fe can displace copper from copper sulfate solution. Fe can displace copper from copper sulfate solution. Okay, and the product will be FeSO4 plus Cu. Fe displaces copper from copper sulfate solution. This is because Fe placed in the placed above the copper in the metal reactivity series. Similarly, magnesium can displace copper from copper sulfate because magnesium is also more reactive than copper. Okay, so a more reactive metal, that is metals placed above the reactivity series in the reactivity series, the metals which are more reactive, which are placed above the above in the reactivity series, can displace a metal which are less reactive, which are placed at the bottom of this reactivity series. Okay. Similarly, metals such as zinc, iron, nickel, these metals that are present above hydrogen can displace hydrogen from dilute acid. I have already told this point. For example, zinc can displace H plus from H2SO4, and you will get hydrogen gas and ZnSO4. Zinc can displace hydrogen from H2SO4 because zinc is more reactive than hydrogen. Okay. Now oxide and their classification. Oxide and their classification. Oxide are binary compound. When an element combined with oxygen, it forms oxide. When an element, okay, so oxide is a binary compound in which oxygen present as anion is a binary compound of oxygen. So oxygen atom is highly reactive due to its small size and 6 electrons in its outermost shell. It combines with metals and non-metal to form oxide. Oxygen combine with metals and non-metals to form oxides. The oxides are classified into 4 categories depending upon the nature and properties of the compounds. First type of oxide is acidic oxide, second basic oxide, third amphoteric oxide and neutral oxide. These are 4 types of oxides. So first see acidic oxide. Some oxide, generally non-metallic oxide, are acidic in nature. Non-metallic oxide, that is oxide of carbon, oxide of sulfur, oxide of nitrogen, these are acidic oxide. So non-metals that react with oxygen, they form non-metals. Generally you have to remember this point. Non-metals react with oxygen, they form oxide through covalent bond by sharing of electron, and these oxide have low boiling and melting point. These non-metallic oxide have low boiling and melting point. Example of this non-metallic oxide are carbon dioxide, oxide of carbon, sulfur dioxide, oxide of sulfur, sulfur trioxide, SO3, oxide of sulfur, it is also oxide of sulfur, nitrogen dioxide, oxide of nitrogen, NO2. Okay, so NO2, CO2, SO2, SO3, these are non-metallic oxide which are acidic in nature. because when this non-metallic oxide reacts with water, they form acid. Okay, so acidic oxide form acid when treated with water. For example, when sulfur trioxide is treated with water, SO3 plus water, arrow, you will get sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Okay, similarly, if you treat nitrogen dioxide with water, you will get nitric acid and nitrous acid. Okay, now basic oxide. Basic oxides are generally metallic oxide. Okay, oxide of most metals. I've told non-metallic oxides are acidic oxide and metallic oxide are basic oxide. So oxide of most metal are basic, and these oxide are formed through ionic bond or electrovalent bond, not by covalent bond. So non-metallic oxide are formed through ionic or electrovalent bond, and they have high boiling and melting point, while acidic oxide have low melting and boiling point. Okay, so basic oxide have high melting and boiling point. Example of basic oxide: metallic oxide such as calcium oxide, CaO, magnesium oxide, MgO. These are basic oxide. Okay, some more examples are iron oxide, FeO, sodium oxide, Na2O, copper oxide, CuO. These all are basic oxide. So in one word, all metallic oxide are basic in nature. Okay, so and these are called basic oxide because when metallic oxide reacts with water, that is when metallic oxide reacts with water, they form base. Okay, so basic oxide combine with water to form base. For example, when sodium oxide, Na2O, is treated with water, is combined with water, it will form sodium hydroxide, NaOH, sodium hydroxide. And sodium hydroxide is a strong base. Okay. Next type of oxide is amphoteric oxide. Amphoteric oxide. So these are oxide of some metals. These are amphoteric oxide are also oxide of some metals which show properties of both acid as well as base. Amphoteric oxide are oxide of some metals like oxide of zinc, oxide of aluminium, oxide of lead. These are amphoteric oxide. Okay, because this amphoteric oxide can react with acid as well as base. Okay, so these are oxide of some metals which show properties of both acid as well as bases. That's why they are called amphoteric oxide. On being treated with either acid or bases, these amphoteric oxide undergo neutralization reaction to form salt and water. Now example of amphoteric oxide: aluminium oxide, Al2O3, zinc oxide, ZnO, lead oxide, PbO. These are amphoteric oxide. Okay, and the amphoteric oxide Al2O3, aluminum oxide, act as an acid when it is treated with when it is react with a base like sodium hydroxide. The reaction is given here. When Al2O3, aluminum oxide, is treated with sodium hydroxide, in this case aluminum oxide act as an acid because sodium hydroxide is a base. Okay, and the product will be sodium aluminate, which is a salt, and water. Okay, this type of reaction is known as neutralization reaction. Acid plus base to give salt and water. This type of reaction is known as neutralization reaction. Similarly, when uh, aluminum oxide is treated, or aluminum oxide reacts with an acid, when aluminum oxide reacts with an acid, in this case aluminum oxide act as a base because sulfuric acid is an acid. So Al2O3, aluminum oxide, is a base in this case. Okay, so when aluminum oxide reacts with H2SO4, sulfuric acid, it will give a salt, Al2SO4 whole thrice, aluminum sulfate, Al2SO4 whole thrice, plus water, salt plus water. Okay, here it is showing that both acidic and basic property of aluminum oxide. Thus aluminum oxide is a amphoteric oxide. And the last type of oxide is neutral oxide. Neutral oxide, these are oxide which do not show either acidic or basic property. These are generally non-metallic oxide. Some of non-metallic oxide are neutral oxide, and these are oxide which do not show either acidic or basic property. Do not show either acidic or basic properties. For example, carbon monoxide is an example of non-metallic oxide, neutral oxide. Nitric oxide NO, which is also an example of neutral oxide. Nitrous oxide N2O. So this carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, nitrous oxide, these are some examples of neutral oxide. Water is also an example of neutral oxide. And the last point of this chapter is forming oxide of metals from their ore. Forming oxide of metals from their ore. The earth crust provides us with many different metals like iron, aluminium, copper, zinc, etc. However, they are not available in the earth crust in their free state and need to be extracted from their ores, which may be in the form of different compounds such as carbonates, sulfides, and it is more convenient to extract the metal from their oxide. It is more convenient to extract the metal from their oxide, metal oxide. Hence the available ores are first converted into their respective oxide. Okay. Now how to convert the metal ore into their metal oxide? Okay. So oxide of metal can be produced by applying heat to their ores in two different ways. One is calcination, another is roasting. So using these two methods, calcination and roasting, you can convert any type of metal ores into their oxide form. So first thing, what is calcination? This is the method. Using this method, you can convert an ore into its oxide form. Okay, so the definition of calcination is a decomposition reaction. It is a decomposition reaction in which metal ore is heated strongly in limited supply of air or in completely absence of air to remove carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so calcination is a decomposition reaction in which a metal ore is heated strongly in limited supply of air or in completely absence of air to remove carbon dioxide and water. And the temperature is so maintained that the ore does not burn or melt. Temperature is so maintained that the ore does not burn or melt. Now see example of calcination. Generally carbonate ores. In case of carbonate ore, this method is applied. So carbonates of zinc, magnesium, copper on calcination give the respective metal oxide. For example, when zinc oxide is heated in absence of air or in a limited supply of air, you will get zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. Similarly, when magnesium carbonate is heated, you will get magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide. Similarly, when copper carbonate, basic copper carbonate, that is CuCO3 dot CuOH whole twice, basic copper carbonates is heated, you will get copper oxide plus carbon dioxide and water. Okay. So using calcination, you can convert a metal ore into its oxide form. Generally, this method is applied for carbonate ore. And now next type of method of conversion of metal ore into its oxide form, which is roasting. Roasting roasting is the process in which it is similar to calcination, but it is in presence of air. Okay, calcination is in absence of air or in a limited supply of air, but roasting is in presence of excess air. Okay, so roasting is a process in which the ore is heated strongly in presence of air at very high temperature. Okay, roasting is a process in which metal ore is heated strongly in the presence of air at very high temperature, and this method is generally applicable for sulfide ore. Okay, sulfide ores are converted into oxide form using roasting. Okay, sulfide ores such as zinc blende, ZNS, galena, PBS, lead sulfide are converted into oxide by this process. Okay, and roasting can be conducted in a reverberatory furnace. A reverberatory furnace is a type of furnace in which materials are heated indirectly by a deflected flame that is directed either downward or sideways. Okay, you can see from this picture, and the metal the metal converts to its oxide after roasting, and impurities are also converted into volatile oxide and get automatic removed, and the metal oxide remain. Okay, so when zinc sulfide is reacted with water, you will get ZnS plus SO2. SO2 is a gas, and when PBS, that is galena, is react with oxygen or PBS on roasting, it gives PbO plus sulfur dioxide. When copper sulfide reacts with oxygen, it gives copper oxide, Cu2O and sulfur dioxide. When ferrous sulfide reacts with oxygen, that is it will give ferrous oxide and sulfur dioxide. Okay. So when sulfide ore like ZnS, PbS, Cu2S, FeS, these are on roasting gives respective metal oxide. Okay. Thank you students, and this chapter is completed.